It started with explosions. Not from warships, not from rebellion, not even from malfunctioning fusion cores. No, it was humans. Celebrating. At exactly midnight on Earth, cities across the planet lit up, not with sirens, but with joy, glittering fire in the sky, people screaming in the streets, and somewhere, a man in a banana costume dancing on top of a mailbox. To the Galactic observation fleet, it looked like the surface was undergoing planetary detonation. Sensors triggered, alerts flared, orbital satellites flagged the spectacle as a Level 7 aggressive display, and humans just cheered louder. In Times Square, a glowing orb was descending on a massive crowd. Tens of thousands of humans were counting down together. 10, 9, 8. Alien translators panicked. Commander Drangnar of the Tranquility 47 barked orders. All units, stand by. They're activating something. Lieutenant Blib, tentacles trembling, leaned forward. What? What are they doing? Is that a ritual weapon? A junior officer replied, they seem to be celebrating the passage of time. By detonating the sky? Drangnar shouted. Back on Earth, fireworks screamed into the air. Massive flowers of light bloomed above rooftops. People laughed, drank, kissed. The ship's tactical AI blared warnings. Multiple explosions detected, source unknown. Apparently, it didn't understand New Year's Eve either. In a suburb of Toronto, a family was clinking glasses of champagne. The scanner interpreted it as a chemical bonding pact. Their cheers translated as, "Let the temporal cycle devour us anew," which, honestly, felt about right. By 12:01 a.m. Earth time, 37 alien outposts had gone silent. Not from attack, from sheer confusion. On board the observation cruiser Philosophy of Cheese, one analyst threw off his headset and cried, "I've stared into the chaos," and it smiled back. Meanwhile, humans were uploading blurry videos titled, "Drunk Uncle Lights 8 Fireworks in a Trash Can." The trash can survived. The uncle, less so. Back in the Galactic Council, footage from Earth was looping in real time. Ambassadors stared in horror as children ran with sparklers while screaming, "Woo!" at top volume. One delegate vomited into a decorative plant. Another prayed. "What kind of species celebrates temporal continuity by simulating war?" someone whispered. "They're not simulating," said another. "They're enjoying it." Blib scrolled through Earth's social feeds. He found memes. Endless memes. One read, "New Year, same dumb decisions." Another showed a raccoon in a party hat. The humans had turned time itself into a joke. Drangnar sank into his captain's chair, pale. This isn't a celebration, it's an annual madness ritual. And then came the message that pushed him over the edge. A human had written, in glowing LED letters across a building, 2025, let's make it worse. The commander stared at the words for a full 30 seconds, then quietly whispered, "Evacuate the system." And that was only the beginning. Lieutenant Blib hadn't blinked in 20 minutes. Not that his species had eyelids, but if they had, he would have forgotten how to use them. He just stared at the monitor, tentacles curled in horror. The humans were now dancing. Amid the smoke, the explosions, the screeching laughter, they formed circles in the streets, flailing, twisting, chanting lyrics like "Party rock is in the house tonight" with unhinged enthusiasm. "Commander," Blib whispered, "they appear to be summoning something." Drangnar leaned closer. One group was hopping in sync to a pulsing bass line. The street shook. A nearby trash can caught fire. A man in a cardboard crown screamed, "Everybody dance now!" and dived into a snowbank. "Ritual combat?" Drangnar asked, confused. "Possibly celebratory exorcism," said the AI. "Or a planetary purge trial." Then came the pots and pans. Across dozens of cities, humans stepped onto balconies, banging cookware with wooden spoons, yelling at the sky. Children shrieked with joy. Dogs barked. A car alarm joined in, then another and another, until the city sounded like a dying robot orchestra. To the aliens, it was a summoning frequency. The AI triggered a red level alert. Multi-source resonant clang detected. Potential mechanoid uprising. In response, Blib covered his audio receptors and wept softly into his gelatinous hands. Meanwhile, down on Earth, a grandma was teaching her granddaughter how to bang a soup ladle against a baking tray, like the good old days. She was smiling, laughing. To the aliens, she was clearly a war matriarch, passing on the ancient Thunder Code. And just when they thought it couldn't get worse, the countdowns began again. Different cities, different time zones, every hour, like clockwork, more fireworks, more chaos, more screaming. By 1 a.m. Earth time, half the observation fleet had started twitching. The other half had opened emergency therapy tickets. At 1:05 a.m., the crew observed a man lighting what appeared to be a miniature missile in his driveway. It spiraled out of control, hit a recycling bin, bounced off a parked car, then exploded into pink stars above a sleeping cat. The cat didn't move. The humans laughed. Someone yelled, "Nailed it!" The aliens screamed. "This is tactical insanity," Drangnar shouted. They launch explosives for amusement and then congratulate the randomness. Another feed showed a rooftop party where humans were wearing glittery hats and toasting with drinks that glowed. The translation system interpreted their cheers as, "To the reckless, unknowable future." Blib hiccuped nervously. Commander Drangnar clutched the arms of his seat. These creatures are toasting entropy. Then came the drones, unmanned devices flying through the smoke, capturing the chaos from above, streaming it to billions of other humans in real time. The aliens gasped. "They're broadcasting the uprising?" Blib said. "No," the AI responded grimly. "They're creating digital proof, a message to the stars. We did this, and we liked it." Someone in New Jersey launched 300 bottle rockets at once from a shopping cart. The footage was grainy. The man was shirtless. The caption read, "YOLO 2025. The aliens declared him a warlord. Meanwhile, in a town called Bakersfield, a human attempted to deep fry a frozen turkey in his backyard at 2 a.m. It exploded. The explosion was so large it triggered 2 neighboring Ring doorbell cams and a passing satellite's tremor alarm. The man emerged from the smoke holding a beer and shouting, "I regret nothing." Council Command saw the clip and issued a planetary insanity advisory. Drangnar pressed his communicator. "I need permission to initiate Sector Evac Protocol Delta 13. The Council responded with static. Then a faint voice. "Hold. We're still reviewing the raccoon incident." Yes, the raccoon. In a Florida neighborhood, someone set off fireworks near a pool. A raccoon panicked, leapt onto a patio table, slid across the surface, bounced off a flaming lawn chair, and landed in a kayak, which floated down a flooded street while children cheered. The footage went viral across 5 galactic sectors. Blib whispered, that wasn't even the weird part. Because then the humans sang. Off-key. Loud. Passionate. They sang about old acquaintances and long-forgotten times. Some cried, some hugged, some danced in puddles of melted snow. It was chaos, but it wasn't war. It was grief, joy, hope, all wrapped in explosions and absurdity. Drangnar stared at the monitor as humans in party hats kissed under burning streetlights. He didn't know what emotion he was feeling, but he didn't like it. "They're not signaling the end of the world," he muttered. "They're celebrating that it didn't end." Blib turned to him. "Should we be scared of them, sir?" Drangnar didn't answer. He just looked back at the screen, where a toddler was banging 2 metal lids together while wearing sunglasses and a cape. And the world behind him shimmered in flame and light. By 3 a.m. Earth time, Sector 7A was in full galactic meltdown. Every major city on the planet had now completed its own explosion ceremony, each one louder and more confusing than the last. The alien observers tried to follow the sequence, but quickly gave up when Antarctica joined in, with penguins. Commander Drangnar's voice was hoarse from shouting. "Why is there an entire continent celebrating with birds?" Blib answered without looking up. "They appear to have light sticks and hats. One of them is wearing a tie." I think that one just did a somersault," another crew member added, pointing at the screen. "I think they trained them for this." Drangnar collapsed into his chair, defeated. "This is coordinated planetary delirium. It has to be. There's no other explanation." And then came the aftershock. Not literal, though the Earth did tremble. No, this was emotional, the kind that destabilizes civilizations. The humans started singing again, this time in massive groups. From rooftops and backyards, from bars and churches, they sang the same tune, off-key, out of sync, yet somehow together. Should old acquaintance be forgot? Drangnar stared at the screen. "What are they doing now?" Blib blinked. "It appears to be a sorrowful chant, perhaps a mourning ritual?" Drangnar narrowed his eyes. "But they're smiling," the AI chimed in. Confirmed, ritual indicates simultaneous expression of nostalgia, grief, joy, and communal bonding. Level of emotional density exceeds recommended exposure thresholds. In one city, humans formed a circle in the street, arms over shoulders, swaying. Snow fell around them like some kind of poetic visual metaphor. A street musician played the melody on a saxophone. Badly, heroically. One observer on the alien bridge openly sobbed. Blib wiped his ocular membranes. They're not just mad, they're beautifully mad. But the universe would not be allowed to process that emotion, because Florida was next. A new feed came in from the southern region of North America, already known among aliens as the Chaos Swamp. The footage began with a man, shirtless, sunburned, and wearing only a novelty hat that read, "Kiss me, I'm unstable." He stood beside a hot tub filled with glow sticks and empty soda cans. In his hands, an entire crate of fireworks. Drangnar leaned forward. Is he inside the tub? The man gave a thumbs up to the camera, then shouted, "Happy New Year!" He lit the crate. Instant ignition. Screaming sparks erupted from the water like some sort of demonic geyser. The tub exploded. Plastic shrapnel rained down. The man belly flopped onto a trampoline, bounced into a hedge, and emerged yelling, "Freedom!" A raccoon bolted past. A lawn flamingo caught fire. A nearby inflatable Santa Claus deflated dramatically. Blib turned to Drangnar, voice trembling. "Sir, we've just witnessed the first instance of recreational self-detonation." High Command cut into the feed. A solemn voice echoed across the bridge. "This footage has reached Council. Immediate decision pending." Drangnar stood to attention. "This is it," he whispered. "They've seen Florida." Back at Council headquarters, the footage looped again and again. The hot tub, the fire, the raccoon, the trampoline. Repeat. Ambassadors covered their eyes. One resigned on the spot. Another renounced logic and took up finger painting. The Speaker of the Galactic Council, a floating jelly organism named Plurn, hovered before the chamber. It pulsed with dread. "I have seen terror," it said. "I have seen war, famine, and the unraveling of civilizations." It paused. "But this is New Year's?" There was silence. Then someone asked, "Do they do this every year?" Blib's voice came through a dusty comm channel. "Yes, Counselor, they do it annually, and they plan for it." The chamber fell apart. Someone screamed. Someone laughed uncontrollably. Someone tried to escape into an air vent. Resolution 404 year was passed unanimously. Effective immediately, all observation of Earth between December 31st and January 2nd was suspended. Any species caught viewing Terran activity during this period would be required to undergo mandatory mental recalibration. The official statement read, "Let no mind witness the Terran transition, for they greet time's passage not with reverence, but with fire and inflatable yard animals." Drangnar closed the last transmission file and finally exhaled. He looked at Blib. "Do you think they'll ever understand what they are?" Blib stared out the viewport, where Earth shimmered below, still glowing. "No, sir, but I think they enjoy not understanding." Far below, on a quiet street in Chicago, a toddler in pajamas was twirling a sparkler. He laughed. It fizzled out. He looked up at his mom and said, "Do it again?" And just like that, another year began. From that day forward, Earth was marked on galactic charts with a single red warning. Do not observe between Dec 31st Jan 2nd. Survivors will be altered. And yet, some aliens still peek. Curious minds, reckless explorers, TikTok researchers from the Vega system. They tune in hoping to understand and always leave changed. One Wexlerian philosopher watched the New Year broadcast and immediately declared time a lie. He now lives in a hammock and only communicates through confetti. A diplomatic envoy from Zeta Phi tried to emulate the human ritual by launching glitter bombs into their moon's core. They accidentally triggered tectonic salsa. Long story. And then there was Glarnock. Poor, sweet, culturally confused Glarnock. He tried to host his own human-style countdown party, using translations from Earth memes. He set his suit on fire, twice. But he said he'd do it again. Because the humans, he said, have embraced madness as tradition, and that is inspiring. So if you've made it this far and you still wish to understand these glitter-loving, chaos-fueled, nostalgia-shouting creatures, hit that subscribe button. We've got more humans doing things that no species in their right mind would ever attempt. More aliens crying in space, more confused diplomats and ruined hot tubs. And remember, on Earth, time doesn't pass quietly. It explodes. With streamers. Subscribe to Earthlings Gone Wild. Because somewhere, right now, a toddler is lighting a sparkler with a juice box in one hand and a plan in the other.